Fire this up, nostalgic tiny package.
Retro gaming junkies such as myself were thrilled in 2014 when it had been announced that AtGames was producing a new line of Flashback plug-and-play consoles that included not just the standard Atari 2600 revision, but also for the first time in this series, the beloved Intellivision and Colecovision. And since the Connecticut Leather Company's contribution to gaming is near and dear to my heart, that's the one I opted for when I made my last year's Christmas list. And that's the one we'll be talking about today. For its time, the Colecovision was a powerful system, and even today it's impressive what hobbyists can do with the hardware. That raw, old-school power is represented well here in this miniaturized Colecovision. The standard release of the Colecovision Flashback includes 60 built-in games, and also 4 sets of overlays for keyboard-dependent titles. There were specialized packages made exclusively for Dollar General and Sam's Club, the former containing an extra game, Antarctic Adventure, and the latter containing extra overlays. The game selection seems to favor the less common titles. While everyone with a Colecovision had games like Venture and Cosmic Avenger in their collections, you're less likely to find Slurpee, Sammy Lightfoot, or Brain Strainers in these lots. Also included are 12 homebrew games, 11 of which are original, and one which is just a reprogramming of a retail game, Destructor, to make it work with the standard controller instead of the steering wheel. For those of you looking for pre-NES Nintendo classics, such as the ubiquitous Donkey Kong and the follow-up Donkey Kong Jr., you're going to be disappointed. No doubt, licensing costs were a factor, but it's still a huge gap seeing as the Colecovision versions of these games were classics in their own right, and quite unique, and fun to play as well. Other omissions are more baffling. We have Exidy's Venture and Pepper 2, but no Mousetrap. We have Sega's Zaxxon, but not Carnival. We have Universal's Space Panic, but no Mr. Do. Obviously, someone's favorites are bound to be missing from this box for different reasons. And for the more hardcore, these titles I've mentioned are relatively easy to obtain if you have an original Colecovision handy. So it probably was not a bad idea to give the console's less common games a moment in the spotlight, as to give everyone a chance to play them without having to shell out a large amount of cash for the original cartridges, nor having to deal with emulators or emulator websites. And who's to say some of these missing titles aren't scheduled to be released on future Flashback consoles anyway? Before we take a gander at these games, let's discuss the hardware itself. The Colecovision Flashback console is quite compact, especially considering the original behemoth. Unlike many of the Flashback consoles, you can't use original Colecovision controllers with this console. Likewise, the Flashback controllers are incompatible with original Colecovision hardware. This is unfortunate, as I found that AtGames managed to make the off-the-line Colecovision control disc a tad worse. It is actually shorter than the original, and feels plastic and fragile. To be fair, I've grown used to the rugged but awkward control disc found on the original Colecovision controller, and on the plus side, these new controllers have side buttons that seem to give less resistance and aren't as fatiguing to press repeatedly. I was hoping to at least use the included overlays as replacements for cartridges in my collection that have theirs missing. But it turns out, the Flashback's controllers have slightly larger keypads than the originals, meaning they will not fit in the original controllers. That being said, the console is easy to plug into your wall socket and AV jacks, and within seconds, you'll be at the menu screen. So let's concentrate on what's really important and take a quick look at each of the 60 games in the standard release. For kids, adequate, plodding, perplexing, exactly what it says on the tin. Decent, lazy, fun, satisfactory, ace. Fair, aggravating, meh, moist, entertaining, SimCity, interesting, great, sterling, exasperating, pleasing, golden, fun, commendable, confusing, peculiar, exceptional, clumsy, annoying, persnickety, enchanting, marvelous, bully, good, even gooder, impressive, puzzling, monotonous, vexatious, amusing, very obstreperous, ambidextrous, fussy, poor man's joust, perverted, tolerable, never a fan, competent, lively, pointless, arduous, milquetoast, simplistic, no idea. It's certainly tennis, solid, topical, sloppy, phasmatasmic. As you can see, they're not all winners, and there's some questionable inclusions, but there's enough variety here to make it a worthwhile purchase, especially at the $40 asking price. Will it replace my beloved original Colecovision? No. But this is great for some quick, old-school gaming without the hassles of dealing with the quirks of aging hardware. Hopefully, we'll see some other old favorites return if and when AtGames releases a follow-up. but I'd be just as fine discovering more titles I'd missed the first time around. And with that, I promise I'm done talking about Coleco for quite some time. Next week, something else.
Hold it up higher so it looks like you're snuggling with it a little bit. There you go. That's nice. That's good.
Okay.
Kiss it at the end.